Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 2 in a series between Nercio and Kaz here on Red City LE. Red City LE, a map that I believe I've cast 1 or 2 games on, but don't know a lot about. One of the games that I cast did use this high ground against the Terran player, as Zerg players can place a Nidus Worm here right underneath the nose of a Terran player. They don't realize that the Nidus Worm is actually about to, just pop out of the ground, since they don't themselves have high ground sight. And then all of a sudden, a very, very large map becomes rather small. Nercio moving out with this Overlord, going to be scouting in a counterclockwise direction, as Kaz needs to come up with perhaps a better game plan here in Game 2. Game 1, he tried to execute a proxy 2 racks to place down pressure on the Nercio. Nercio wouldn't have any of that, was able to fend off the attack, get a quick drone advantage, setting up a 3rd base, then setting up a 4th base right behind it, and saying, you know what, I'm just going to get up to a certain point and then destroy you. And that's definitely what we saw there. A little bit of tearing on my screen. Not quite sure how to fix that, but hopefully everything does still look fine and dandy. So there you go. Alright, a little bit of fun by the players there, apparently talking in observer chat. Anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at what's going to be happening. Nercio is expanding down here. Hatchery first, no real big surprise since there are 4 spawning locations. And then Kaz is going to be doing the same thing with a command center first. Command center first makes a lot of sense. In this particular instance, command center first does make a lot of sense because of the number of starting locations. The likelihood that Nercio would try to go for a hatchery first is very, very high. The likelihood of any of them being able to go for a quick spawning pool or a proxy barracks in the right location is rather low, and both of these players just don't want to take that chance. In the center portion of the map, there is the center Zonaga watchtower, but what I like about this is that there is untraversable terrain around it, making firefights at the Zonaga tower a little bit more interesting. Unlike maps like Tal'Darim Altar, where they're just completely wide open in the center and Zerglings can swarm very easily, Terran players can actually try and hold this with a siege tank and a handful of marines. They'll definitely be able to trade better than, say, if it was an open field where they'll get surrounded in just a matter of seconds. So making sure that there isn't so much open ground across the entire center portion of the maps, such that Zerglings can just a move to surround and get the victory. So far, we've seen Kaz set up his 2nd orbital command, is placing down a bunker here, and is now placing down a factory. We should also see a reactor come down on this barracks into Hellion reactor expansion, and that Hellion reactor expansion should put a lot of pressure on Nercio. However, Nercio should not be new to any sort of Hellion Hellbat harassment. I'm sure all Zerg players pretty much know how to defend it and pretty much know what to expect. Sometimes it is just more successful than others. As the Zerglings are retreating, they did spot the bunker right there, and with that bunker and a supply depot down now, it will take a little bit of time before those Zerglings could get up that ramp. Now here's the question for Nercio. Nercio is already going for a quick tier 2, which means that he should be harvesting a lot of gas. Getting another extractor down here could mean, oh my gosh, he's going for 4 gas before the 6-minute mark, which means either very, very heavy infestor or Mutalisk play. Now with the map size the way it is, I would not be surprised with a very fast Spire. Spire does take quite a bit of time to build though. 100 seconds, almost 2 minutes in the game, as it is coming into play here. With a full 2 minutes of a Spire, a Zerg player can easily get up to, I believe it's 700 to 800 gas on top of what they already have. So in now in another 70 seconds or so, we could be seeing Nercio training up about 10 Mutalisks. Those 10 Mutalisks are going to be very key in trying to stop any sort of harassment. if Kaz tries to go for Hellbat harassment, he may find himself up the creek without a paddle because the medevacs will simply be shut down, especially if they do not have that afterburner boost. All right, let's take a look at it here. We are going to be seeing that starport now come into play. We are going into, I believe, dual medevacs. Don't make me a liar. I am not a liar, at least not at this very moment. As the game is still coming into play here. So far, you can see double medevacs, a lot of Marines, combat shield not being researched. It is going to be stim instead. Orbital supply drop being called in as Kaz was supply blocked for a little bit of time here. Though there's the 8 Mutalisk on top of that level 1 weapons upgrade. So getting additional bounce damage. It wasn't the 10 that I promised you, but we will be getting into 10 Mutalisk, I gotta believe, as Nercio wants to use this map size to his advantage with one of the fastest flying, or the fastest flying unit that can hit air and ground. Nercio now making his move across the field. You can see we are getting up to 8 Mutalisks, no more Mutalisks in production. Instead, he is now only focusing on these Mutalisks for harassment. This is important to note. Oh, medevacs. Oh, they could be in trouble here. The afterburner, as the Marines are now going to get taken down there. That was a huge, huge play. The Mutalisk could easily get some damage there. And now we see a fight in midfield. All right, this could be a rather large problem here. Are the Zerglings and the medevacs going to engage here? Oh, there is that Widow Mine. Let's take a look. Overlord, he's trying to bait it. He's trying to bait it. Oh, beautifully done. Sends in a lone Zergling. Knows that the Widow Mine is there now. And now going to try and chase after the medevacs. The medevacs now on the move. And this has been some very, very smart play as Nercio with the regeneration on these Mutalisks. He has lost 2 so far, but 2 quickly replaced the ones that he has lost. We are now up to 9 Mutalisks and a huge, huge victory for Nercio. Nercio now, after controlling what would have been a very devastating drop if that Widow Mine had landed a good hit, knows that his third base is pretty much going to go unchallenged. Quickly, he's throwing down 2 extra extractors for that extra gas, so we could be seeing a lot more Mutalisks join in on this fight. All right, let's take a look. There is the Mutalisks off over here. Zerglings are going to try and run in, and yes, they will go ahead and take down this missile turret. There it goes. Only a handful of Marines left as the Mutalisks are still finishing off a lot more units here. All right, the Marines are getting torn apart as the Zerglings are just running rabid inside the base. The Marines now being forced to fight inside, as we can see here. The missile turret not positioned in the right location. 1 very low hit point Mutalisk glad to get away, down to 3 hit points, and natural regeneration, tissue regeneration, helping these Mutalisks stay alive. In about another 2 minutes, all of those Mutalisks will be as fresh as the day they were born. Mutalisk now looking to come back in again. You can see the Widow Mines, flying straight into a group there. There goes one Widow Mine. There goes a second one as the Zerglings and the Mutalisks are working together again. All right, the Marines trying to back off. They have 1-0 upgrade. The Mutalisks now need to back away as well. Mutalisks have that movement speed upgrade to a movement speed of 4, which is a tremendous upgrade as of late, as we're now looking at all of these SCVs now trying to pull back here. More Marines trying to engage. The Mutalisk going to just straight up fly inside the main base, take down a missile turret, and now just hover themselves over the main base mineral line. All right, a whole bunch of SCVs not able to mine. The Marines getting into position again. 1 lone Mutalisk taking a little bit of fire damage as the medevacs. Oh, a beautiful Widow Mine hit though. Let's see, only 1 kill, but still able to do a bit of damage to the rest of that flock, as the Mutalisks are still causing more problems. I don't believe Nercio was expecting his Mutalisk harassment to be as effective as it's been, and now he's really going down that path even further. However, he will need those banelings, as we can see a handful of Marines making their way out. 22 Marines to be exact, followed up with a couple of Widow Mines. All right, there is double spine crawler here. No, these rocks have yet to be destroyed, so it's going to be a little bit difficult to defend. And here we go. There's a spine crawler trying to engage. Widow Mines, are they going to burrow in time? Yes, they will. All the units are going to have to back off there, as the Widow Mines did not attack. All right, here's the engagement. There's the attack now. The Widow Mines are going to hit some beautiful, beautiful hits there. as the Overseer now finally making their way over. The Mutalisk now down to 15. I say down relatively, as that is a large number still, and still able to chase down medevac after medevac. All right, looks like a free 200 resource unit was not the target, going after a full medevac instead. And Nercio is just playing this game absolutely phenomenally. He's been able to catch his opponent off guard. Kaz notices the banelings. There's the engagement now as the Mutalisk trying to make their way forward. All right, how much damage can get done? There is some missile turrets in position, taking down the SCV before removing the threat before it becomes a problem, as the Mutalisk going after even more units here. All right, the Mutalisk now up onto the high ground. One lone Marine. That is not a good spot to be in when you see over a dozen Mutalisks. All you see is the butt. Well, you're at the end of a very bad butt joke. Let's just say that, as the glaive worms are just still shooting those glaives. Banelings melting the mineral line, and it looks like it will be a very quick 2-0 victory for Nercio, as we will be moving into Game 3. All right, Overlord off over here. Whole bunch of SCVs are sitting idle. We are sitting on 3 bases to 3 bases, and at some point Nercio should just come out ahead. You can see that 2-0 upgrade, how much damage it is doing. You can take a look at all of those SCVs getting destroyed. Mutalisk absorbing a bit more damage than they would like here. What are they doing? Why is Nercio sticking around fighting against a bunker? That just is not making any sense whatsoever, but he is placing enough pressure down on Kaz so that Kaz is constantly forced to respond. All right, Zerglings, Widow Mine hit, dealing a ton of damage there. And I believe this will be the follow-up play. There is, wow, the Banelings gung-ho to take down a Marine, as we're still seeing all these bases just falling apart there. All the Marines just flying across the map. SCVs, are they going to take down? Yes, they are going to get taken down once more, as we are now down 1 command center. All right, still sitting on about 500 resources. Nope, quickly stopping that. The Mutalisks are now looking to fly away. We are getting into Hive Tech. Hive Tech is now done, as we can see another quick medevac, still not working out all too well here. The medevacs are all grouped together. There's the GG. Kaz realizes he cannot take the victory here at all, and Nercio takes a quick 2-0 lead in this best of 5. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 2. Please stay tuned for Game 3.